Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm your host, A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's do that. Appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you for always rocking and hanging with us. We're going to have a great broadcast today. All right. Look, who's in the building. Lisa's in the building. Jeff's in the building. What's up, Mama Corey? Great morning to you. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. So today we're talking about breaking out of societal norms. Generally, when I do that intro, it's because I'm running behind and I haven't sent the text out. This is my fake it right there. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. Hope my gentlemen are ready. We're not gonna do that long. Well, not really long. It's like 30 seconds intro. We're just gonna do this, and then we're gonna jump right into the topic, and just see kind of where it goes. See where it goes. All right, and we have in the building, of course, Mr. Coach Wright, Aaron Wright is gonna be joining us as well. So if you're like, who is that face? Just so you know before the gentleman gets here. All right, so let's go.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Good morning.
Yes,
good morning.
yes.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
How goes it, my brothers?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, brothers of
Good
Legacy. Hey,
Happy
Thursday. Happy
Happy
Thursday. It is.
Thursday.
That's right.
Why do I say that all the time when you say it? I should just let you say it and be done.
I only said it to make sure that you all would confirm that it is actually Thursday.
I always copy you when you say that. I'm gonna start leaving that alone.
Come up with your own. Make your own.
I know, right? It's like I'm piggybacking. Like, yeah,
Piggyback.
right? Thursday.
What's up, Jeff? All right, so thank you, Aaron, for hanging out with us this morning.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
you.
Absolutely.
We have, of course, to the left, right is my man, like no other, Mr. Kadeem Curvey, aka Chuck D.
Yes, the rebel.
Without a pause, I'm knowing my level. So, and as well as Pastor Brian A. McCrory Sr. in the building as well. Still with the Dallas Cowboys hat. All right, so
Yeah,
But it's all blacked out.
it's all blacked
There
out.
you go.
That's
Yeah,
good. They went down
I'll be
in
back
hell.
in color if we win on Monday.
Mm.
No, charcoal black is good.
I like it. I like it.
All right. So today's topic is breaking out of social norms, right? So basically, how we look at like the road to success. You go to school, college, and find the great job, doing things that people feel like, this is what you should do. They see it in you. You know the Bible well, so you should be a pastor when you just know the Bible well. Doesn't mean I should be a pastor. Doesn't even mean I should be a preacher. Just maybe I should be back here teaching these other folk what I know. Like we always, and we kind of get put in a box sometimes of what you should become, where you should be going. And we try to live up to that sometimes, because people have resources. They're like, hey, do this. And you feel like, I don't really want to, but I'm great at that. So I guess I should do that. I know of several folks, that have gone to school, got licenses, got certifications, and into spaces where they only did it because of the pushing of, their parents and their community. And they realize this is not what I really want to do, and you realize even growing up, like you get into a space that you like, do I really want to do this? Or this is just what I'm being told to do, and for you guys, like, do you feel like, growing up, were you following a blueprint? Was someone trying to give you a blueprint, or do you feel like you push back against the social norm? Or like, did I start following? Then realize in the middle of the journey, you changed it up. So I'm tossing it out here like that. But of course, as always with every topic, we always shift a little bit. So I'm leaving space to shift if there is room to kind of broaden this topic. But like I said, for you guys, have you have you been following a more societal norm, as far as steps when you're growing up, or did you kind of make your own path?
How you feel about that, Coach?
Well, it's a
Like
really great topic. I mean, it really is. And when you think about our society, there's so much to appreciate about what happens when we're around our peers and the influence that happens to us.
Right.
There's been a lot of interesting studies and thoughts about it. But I know for me personally, growing up on the south side of Chicago, I mean, it was basically brick and concrete, and we had a number of things that influenced us. Certainly for me, and it has it's a heavy weight. It can be. I mean, it really is, and it's a real eye opener to become aware of that influence and to make some decisions about it. Right.
Right.
But certainly for me, I think certainly as a young person, most of us, we were heavily influenced by our environment.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And until you become aware of that influence, then it's really a struggle to create something different. Absolutely.
Wow. Nice. So how in your life though, how do you create something different? What does that shifting point look like?
Awareness is everything. Without
Right.
awareness, change is not possible, right? You got to become aware, or something has to bring your awareness to the front of your thinking. And until that happens, you're pretty much subject to it. And that's the challenge we all have as brothers of legacy, is to help awareness be broader in our community with our brothers and that understanding. But often it comes to a crash, and you go, oh my gosh, how'd this happen? What happened? How'd they end up here?
Right.
And that reality kind of pushes you into a new opportunity for awareness.
Right.
That happens a lot. Unfortunately, when I was growing up, a lot of the men that I grew up with, they were overcome by the challenges of the city, for example, and they left this world way too early.
Wow.
Unfortunately, Carl, Brad, Joey, Reggie, Ronnie, just to name a few.
Right.
And again, a lot of times this comes to a crash.
Yeah. Right.
And you realize, oh my goodness, I need something different to happen in my life, or it's going to get worse.
Right.
So that's part of the reality, guys. And for us, it's about helping others to not get to that crash.
Right.
Right. And to have a broader view of where they are and what they can be.
Nice.
Yeah.
How?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got another layer of the question. This goes for everybody else, because y'all like, yeah, I feel you on that. So how did you broaden your view? Because like you said, you were with these same gentlemen, and you got the same perspective, and you got those same, I'll say, unfortunate opportunities, to do things that lead you in a path that may have ended your life early. But you got these same opportunities. You seen the good of it, what looked good anyway. But what opened your eyes or broadened your perspective? And this goes for everybody too, to jump in on it.
I'll share real quickly, guys. For me, my parents worked hard, all their lives, and I'm the baby of my family. And one of the things my parents worked to do was to change our environment in one way or another. So I was very blessed to be able to, my parents took me out of the neighborhood and they put me in a different school, which was, it was, far away from the environment. It was very different. It changed everything for me. Right. And I thank God for that because, again, the influence of the community and my peers was, it was a matter of survival. Right. I mean, you're in the neighborhood and someone asks you, what's your love? You need to have the right answer.
Right.
And so they took me out of the community, and I went to a private school and in high school, because up to grade school, I was in the community.
Okay.
But they put me in a private school. I had to catch the train there. It was it was a very big change for me. My whole paradigm changed. So I attribute it to the blessing of my parents and the grace of God, and to be able to change the environment. But that was a shift for me. How about you guys?
That's good.
For me, it was always wide open because there was never a conversation about where you belonged. It was just about maintaining the rules.
Okay.
You know, I was south of Chicago in Kankakee. I lived in Chicago too, but not as long as I lived in Kankakee. And South Side, 62nd and Marshfield. That was brutal. A lot of fights, but in Kankakee, not as many fights, but still, you know, you're within an hour of Chicago, so it's still ugly.
Right.
But we didn't talk about what I've learned as a young person. We were wide open, but I'm the son of a teacher, so teachers tell you can do anything.
Right.
And that was my mother's mentality. So there was never any boxing in. There was just an encouragement to go and do whatever it is you're going to do.
Right. Right.
So that's how it was for me growing up, man. I mean, my shift came as an adult, not as a young person, as a young adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I keep going?
Yeah, just a little more.
I made mistakes as a young adult.
Okay.
And I realized, you know, when I grew up, I knew I was going to go to the military first.
Right.
But I never really talked about it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
I had friends that went on to college, but that wasn't my thought. It was the military for me because that seed had been planted, but I wasn't given instructions. It was just my grandfather took me for a walk when I was young, when I was a little boy, before 10 years old. And he had me doing certain things, and it was consistent with what I learned in Cub Scouts. So there was a connection.
Okay.
So there was a seed planted, but I never really talked about it. It was always in the back of my mind. Right. Yeah. But I didn't talk to anyone about the military. I knew my mom had a friend, the guy who grew up with, Kenny Redmond, was a grown man in the military. I watched him. That was another seed. Wow. You know, or that was the watering, because I loved the uniform. I remember he drove this big old truck, big green truck, and he put us on the back. I'm like, man, this is cool.
They made it look good. It was looking good.
They made it look good, exactly. But again, I never really talked about it.
Right.
You know, I didn't talk to my mom about what I was going to do as an adult. My mom just wanted me to be a good adult. I'm simplifying this as much as I can.
No, I got you.
So growing up and becoming a young adult, I got in the military.
Right.
Got in trouble in the military.
Wow.
You know, and I had to refocus in the military. When I left Korea, went to Fort Campbell, I got in trouble, lost rank, had to work hard, regain the rank back. All of that. I went through all of that. So that's where the shift began to happen for me in the military in my, early 20s.
Wow.
And that's when I realized I had to be more impactful. I had to be better. I had to be more effective in what I was doing. I had to keep my nose clean. I had to be careful who I surrounded myself with, and all of those things. I began to see that stuff come into my in my purview mentally.
Nice. Okay, that's good. Kaneem, about you, my brother?
Yes, sir. Oh man. I got sucked into it, man. I got sucked into the environment. You know what I'm saying? I got everything that when I walked out of my house, I just saw. Now that I reflect back on it, drama and chaos. You know what I'm saying? So I was right there with it, like a cheerleader. I wanted drama and chaos.
Where the drama and chaos at?
Yeah,
Let's go.
Right there with it, man. I was right, like Coach said, I lost a lot of friends, and like I'm literally in the 6th, 7th grade losing friends. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 12, 13. You see what I'm saying? So, and it's one thing when you're running with these, you out there riding bikes, this, that, and third, and then you see his mama coming crying to your mama, telling a story about my baby gone, and you know what I'm saying, I'm crying because that's my friend who I ride bikes with. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
Wow.
But yeah, man, I got sucked into it, and I literally I didn't get out of it mentally, like completely, all strings cut
Right.
until I was in my 30s.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, like literally, I think I was probably about early 30s, between 30 and 35, somewhere. I don't know what number, but somewhere in them early 30s. That's when I really like, hold on, man. You still doing stuff that you was doing when you was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
like even though you got all this knowledge and you've been all around the country,
Right. And seen some things.
you've seen some things, you know what I'm saying? Like you still doing foolishness.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like now when you, like Coach said, you gotta be aware that you're doing foolishness.
Right. You gotta know you gotta be aware of this. Right?
You got to be aware that you're doing foolishness. So yeah, man. It took me a long time, even though my mouthpiece was exquisite when it came to conversation.
Right.
My actions were still immature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
this conversation got to get into drama and chaos.
Yeah, I was addicted, man. Like my wife asked me, "Why you like to watch all these movies about violence and drugs?" I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, this should be now like, hey, at least I'm on TV. I'm not going to find this.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like, I don't smoke. I don't. I drink very sparingly, so I'm like a totally different person.
Right.
You know, so you know, but
still like a little bit of drama and chaos. I like some drama and chaos, but now I don't have to be a part of it. You know, that's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, man, that's good.
You mentioned box earlier, though, in your intro, like living in a box.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you live life in a box?
Do I feel like
I heard a preacher one day say, I get frustrated with the church because we have to break out of the box of church. Right. And my question is, who feels like they live in a box? Because when it comes to social norms, that's what makes you feel boxed in.
Right. 100%.
Right. But knowing who the Lord is, you know that the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The world and they that dwell therein. Right.
Yeah, but
you have access as an heir to any and everything.
I got you.
So who do you feel like life is a box? You feel like you live in a box?
I think you fall into that when you get into like the routines of life, and you know the term, and when people say going to work, I have to go to work. You know, I have to go to this job. You know, like
versus I need to.
Either I need to or I want to. You know, like because you don't have to. You know, like there's always consequences to actions, but I think the have to mindset is the thing that keeps you in a box. And even with ministry, sometimes it's like, you know, you get into such a routine. You know, it's like same thing. It's like, you know, can we break out of this? You know, like, can we do something a little different? And then of course, sometimes the different, like I need something different. Is the reason you stay in it, because it's like I don't know what different looks like, but this is what we doing right here. Can we change something? You know, like I don't, you know, like when you're in a group of people and people, you know, we have suggestions for certain things, and people are like, I don't like that idea. I don't have an alternative. You know, like, but I don't like that idea. You know, breaking out. I think you get boxed in life sometimes. Or you feel like you get boxed in. And I hear what you're saying, because you have access, and it's trying to remember, I have access to different. I have access to do something different. I just have to be aware. The awareness of it.
Awareness is it.
People in Kaneem's situation, I'm sure they felt like there's no opportunities. There's nothing out here. But you know, Kaneem was fortunate to get certain knowledge. Like, oh man, all I need is to get this license, get this certification. You know, like learn this, and then I don't have to do this work like this anymore.
Right.
He said change is necessary, most definitely in ministry. Yeah, definitely. But we have to know that we can do something different. You know, we just have to be aware that we can do something different.
We really do, guys, have to know everything we've learned about the experience of being human. It says that, most people spend 95% of their thoughts on yesterday and the past. And typically 80% of those thoughts are negative. That's the average person. And it's the logic behind it is that through evolution, paying attention to what was negative was important as a part of survival. And so it's kind of built in as an average person to, one, you always thinking about yesterday, and at the same time, negative things. There's a great topic to learn more about. It's called a negativity bias. Unbelievable. And for us, you appreciate the mind basically works in two capacities. It's either habit-based thoughts and actions or goal-based thoughts and actions. That's it. That's it. So if you don't have any goals, it's gonna be a default
living with your
habit-based thoughts and actions based on what you've achieved and what you've experienced from the past. And until you have that awareness, that's it. Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
I love what you just said, because that's where people get confused about feeling cursed.
Right.
And misunderstanding that the practice of iniquity does not equate to being cursed.
Right.
Right. And if it is, you curse yourself.
Right.
Right. I feel like sometimes the difference between I have to go to work and I need to go to work, to Coach Wright's point, I need to go to work is goal based, because if I'm going to be able to do this, then I need to do this. I got to go to work has a sense of regret, has a sense of trouble, has a sense of entrapment.
I have to go to work.
Oh, I got to go to You know what I'm saying? And so it's little things like that create mental and emotional instability.
Right.
Just how you phrase it. Most people say, I've learned to see life through a different lens. Processing information differently can break you out of this box type mentality. I believe we're all in a box.
Right.
Everybody's life is a box. It's just some boxes are larger than others. Some are smaller than others. Right. The question is, do you have the mental and emotional spiritual capacity to break out of it when necessary?
Right.
That's liberation. And the only way to do that is to have the right mindset.
Right.
And I like you, you said it. Think about how much time you spend on yesterday.
Right.
And think about what the scripture says. The scripture talks about, in the book of Peter, it talks about all of these virtues, all of these things that you can add to your life. But then the Lord says, because you have forgotten you've been purged from your sin, you can't see afar off. You're short-sighted. You're stuck. You feel boxed in because you're thinking about yesterday.
Yeah.
Right. And Paul said, forgetting those things which are behind me and reaching out to those things which are before me. We have got to let go of that because it boxes you in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we call it self-imposed boundaries.
Yeah.
They're self-imposed.
That's good.
And you limit yourself through your thoughts and your ability to do more, understand more.
Yeah.
One of the great things about education is that it expands your imagination.
Right.
And imagination, just imagine what it'd be like with no imagination. It wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't be anything.
Right.
So the power of imagination is significant. But if we don't understand that, then we're not able to connect to it.
Right.
And those self-imposed boundaries, they take hold.
Yeah. Right. That's good. Jeff said, I think we are the only ones that create our own boxes. Indeed. I think whether big or small, we kind of build it ourselves. And it's like you said, the self-imposed boundaries. I can't go but this far. I can't do but this much. And like you said, man, that living in yesterday is big. That living in yesterday is big.
Oh my
God!
God!
Oh, I shouldn't have done the shoulda, woulda. Dang it! I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Why did I? And it's and I think it's like that getting stuck in that spot. Sure. Oh, if I just did, dang on it. And man, would you say 85%?
Yeah, the numbers are crazy. But as brother Corey mentioned, without being liberated, it's really tough. And in fact, some people have things that have happened to them in their past that are so dramatic, so dramatizing, to get them to think about their future requires therapy. I mean, it's heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy. So it's a big part of our understanding that we have to embrace and move through. And when you understand more, then you can be more aware and you can create more. That's
absolutely.
part of the challenge. That's part of the challenge.
Wow.
I love the reference to education. How many people go into college with one major in mind and leave with a new major, with a different, having majored in something else?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How many people are actually operating in the same lane as their major?
Right.
Not nearly as many that go
in. Right.
Right.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely
but what I tell people, this is what I say to young people, that I think the greatest benefit from an undergrad is it's a validation that you are trainable. Right. It's a validation that you can set a goal and accomplish it.
Right.
Without your parents waking you up in the morning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's to me, it's what I got from the military. I just got it a different way early on. My first experience was the Army. They teach you to get up, go to work every day. And if you say you don't feel good, you go on sick call and the medic has to tell you that you're sick.
Right.
And so you learn discipline. You gain, well, not learn, but you add and develop disciplines and structure that help you for the rest of your life. And I think college is a lot like that. But academically, but I still think you have to get up, you got to go to class. The difference is you can be late to class in college, but you can't be late in the military.
Right.
There's levels to it. So the box is larger.
Right.
In the military, the box is smaller and tighter, more regimented. In college, the box is larger. You have more liberation, more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's life to me.
That's true. So let me ask this. And for all you, I know like situations happen that open your eyes and cause you to think differently. But how do you create or expand your awareness? How do you create or expand your awareness? Like be more cognizant of the shift that you need to make, knowing that you need to change something or you want to do something different. How do you expand that awareness? Does that make sense?
New information.
How, because I always think about that, right? Like most successful people, if you read their stories, sometimes it's seeing something like I think about you, Pastor. You tell your testimony about going from like the receiving area to sales to like, because you got curious, like, hey, what they doing? Once you get a number, like how much they making? Like, how much can I make? You realize your potential grows and your eyes open. Like not you was like this, literally like in the receiving box.
I was in a smaller box. Yeah.
Right.
Receive shipping like, and receiving clerk. And I looked over and I saw something. It was new information.
Right.
And I asked the question. And then I challenged myself. Can I go do that? Yes, I can.
Right.
I just need a little help. Hey, what is it that you're doing over there? How do you? Oh, can I help you? Yeah. And helping caused it to become my responsibility. Right. And that gave me a pay raise. I'm like, oh, is this how it works?
Right.
Well, what's the next level? What are you guys doing over there?
Right.
I went over there, new information, stuff in circuit boards. Wow. So I'm getting technical.
Right.
Another bump in pay. What are you guys fixing it over there? So I can build it here, but you can fix it. You can repair something. Oh, well, how do you? Okay. Broadening your horizon.
Right.
Who uses this? Oh, what kind of clients use this technology? Wow. How do you sell it to them? Oh, that's how, I could do that. Let me try. Another bump. Man, this is getting good. And that's what it is. But isn't that life?
Yeah.
It certainly is. It certainly is, guys. And unfortunately, a lot of our expansion of awareness comes through the media, right? And that's one of those mountains that is under heavy influence. And part of the challenge for us is to direct our thoughts to the mediums that are more empowering. I mean, being part of the Brothers of Legacy, I mean, that's all part of it. That's about more awareness, right? And being able to have additional insight, as Brother McCory mentioned, that's it. If you watch TED Talks versus some channel on TV, it's going to be a different level of awareness for you.
Right.
So that's a big understanding. I mean, we got to watch what we let in into our thoughts and into our spirits, right? And so choosing and aggressively looking, embracing mediums for more awareness is a lifestyle.
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%. So, Tanisha says,
I agree with that.
Surround yourself with people who continue to grow themselves. This would challenge you and motivate you to grow yourself more. But there's a challenge with that, right?
That is very true, that statement. And that is one of the reasons why I appreciate the Brothers of Legacy for allowing me to be on this platform. Because y'all help me grow every day.
Indeed. And the challenge is a lot of times it's just trying to find those groups, trying to find those people to connect with. It's been a blessing, like, to have this group and Brothers Legacy and able to connect with you guys and able to expand and know Richard and having folks like Richard.
This is about the seventh time he's mentioned Seahawks. I'm getting the feeling that Richard is actually a Seahawks fan.
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about now, Richard.
It's all good, Richard. It's all good. But yeah, I think the challenge is trying to just find the right people to connect with. There's no one like perfect, but at least people are trying to move forward, trying to do something better, better in their lives and things of that nature. Jeff says, I still remember the first car I sold 37 years ago. I made $360 in 3 hours and it had fun. I was an iron worker and it literally took me 40 hours to make the same money. I hated it. Right. I said, I'm home, Jesus.
Well, because you found a sense of passion.
Right.
That interaction, that engagement, it gave you something. And that's kind of what it was for me as well. And, but the other part of it is, like, I remember making $3.35 an hour. I remember that paycheck, right? Until I met somebody that was making $10 an hour. Right. And the distance between me at $3.35 and them at $10 an hour in terms of education and knowledge and information was very small.
Right.
When I realized I could do what that person could do and make the money they were making, I was like, man, you're selling yourself short.
Right.
It goes back to new information, but it also goes to the examination of oneself. Right. We didn't have social media when I was making $3.35 an hour. Right. All I had was the people next to me physically that I interacted with.
Yes.
And the blessing is having people connected to you that are further along to who was that just said being connected to people? Tanisha, absolutely. And Kaneem, you validated that, you confirmed it. When you get around a group of people, not only that are further along, but that welcome you in and provide that nurturing environment for you to grow.
Right.
That matters, because you can get around people that are doing well and don't want you in.
Right.
Want to keep you where you are.
Yeah.
And you have to know the difference.
Yeah.
I'm having this conversation with my daughter right now, who's operating in corporate America for the first time.
Right.
And she's talking about how brutal it is.
Right.
And so I have to talk to her about aligning herself. Right. And keeping herself centered and remembering who she is in the Lord and not compromising.
Right.
It's those types of things. And so you have to learn that stuff early in life, or it becomes brutal early and you spend most of your time making up.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? And that reminds me that it's said that we are the summation of the 5 people we spend the most time with.
Right.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you may be spending time with people that we call a banana, and sometimes you gotta let that banana go, because it has its effect too. And not to say that you are going to distance yourself in a certain way, but you have to realize the impact that can have as well. But yes, the people you around you, they help to shape and give you your appreciation of the human experience, and it's a big deal. Absolutely. Sorry. Go ahead.
Let's go back. What do you mean by banana? I don't know. Maybe these two got that reference.
Yes. You know what? And I apologize. That's from a little story about an expedition where they trapped this monkey by using a banana inside a cage. And the monkey reaches in, he grabs a banana, but he can't pull it out because of the way the cage is made. And he just sits there trying to pull it out. The point is, the only way for him to go and grow, he had to let the banana go.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. And at points, we all have people in our lives that are bananas
that keep us growing,
and we have to be able to let them go. That's the actual parable to it.
That's good. I just need some clarity. I thought it was just me. I was just over my head. Just as I do, Pastor, I was washing dishes for a lady who owned a restaurant. It was weird. The front of her house was the restaurant. She lived in the back. She had me cleaning her fish tank. It was strange. Let's see. It's a $3 an hour gas money for my motorcycle and bowling money. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right. Said, did he ever get the banana? I don't think he did. I think that was the point. That was to keep him from getting it. Keep him occupied on something, instead of trying to grow. She said, Tanisha says she loves that analogies. So I think, like I said, expanding your awareness, making sure you're around the right people that are helping you grow and even challenge you. I think sometimes, we tend to want to cut people off that challenge us, that challenge our thinking or challenge our thoughts. Like, man, get out of here. I don't want to hear all that negative nonsense. But they're just like, listen, I'm challenging your life. Like you're having these issues because you're making these decisions. He said that poor monkey still hungry. So let me ask you that, guys. Do you have or have you had folks in your life that have challenged your way of living? Like that have and using past term, picked the lint or kind of checked you on some things. You go to them like, man, I got this problem, blah, 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 blah. And they check you on like, man, this is your doing. You did this, let's go back a little further. Don't focus on the incident that happened here. Let's go back when you opened your mouth, when you did this, you're getting a reaction, you're not, this isn't the start of it.
It's funny. I didn't have that person, which is why I messed up so much. But you know what? I became that person.
Right.
When I talk to people, I peel the onion. Right. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night either. But I peel the onion. Right. Let's find out because we spend a lot of time pointing the finger outwardly. Right. And what I've learned is we've got to learn how to accept some accountability inwardly for our decisions.
Yeah.
Because no one made you go do it. You can say something was the cause, but no one forced you.
Right.
And you have to own that. And it doesn't matter what your reasoning is. We can't get caught up in the reasoning. We have to realize what you're capable of doing.
Right.
You're capable of reacting or responding in this manner. You got to check that. What makes you do that?
Right.
Because that's not the last time somebody may rub you the wrong way in that manner.
Yeah.
So let's deal with you and not everybody else around you. And that's something that takes some time and some effort, because we're surrounded. We grow up with people pointing the finger. We start pointing the finger at 2 years old. Wasn't me. No, she did it.
Right.
He hit me first.
Right.
And if no one checks that, that's who we become as adults, and we never accept any accountability. So I love that self-examination, man. I think you can over-examine too, but that's another conversation.
Yes, indeed. What about you guys?
Break.
Have you guys had anybody to kind of be in your life to check you, to kind of keep you on track?
I have both ways, man. I've been checked, and I've been doing some checking. So I know when I first got to Georgia, I was still living kind of reckless, and this lady, she was sweeter than a bag of sugar. She tried to cover me. She tried to protect me. She tried to do all this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, her husband gave me my first job. It was, I mean, like this lady looked out for me for real. You know, she let me stay in there. Even though she had 2 kids and a husband and all that, she still let me stay at her house, barely knowing me.
Wow.
And I paid her $100 a week to stay there and sleep on the floor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But she made sure that I was covered in every way possible so I wouldn't be out there in the streets. Because I guess she just saw the energy that I had. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, I still had the gold teeth in my mouth. I still had all the tattoos. I'm still talking that Texas street slang. Every word is a cuss word. You know, I'm just like a living statistic just walking around her house. You know what I'm saying? And she made sure, like, and she was Jehovah's Witness. She was trying to get me to go to the Kingdom Hall, and I'm like the lady was really, you know, like she was over me, like I ain't gonna let nothing bad happen to you.
Right.
Hey, so to this day, I appreciate that lady, but every time I tried to make a left, she made sure she slapped me on the back of the head so I could make it right.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? She saw it before I saw it.
What you doing? Where you going?
So that was and to this day, I appreciate that. I'm real appreciative to her. But then again, I saw some of my other buddies when I moved out of her house and got my own crib. Now, all I had was a TV tray and a bed. I didn't even have a TV.
Right.
But I had a TV tray. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my...
I just realized, like, he said TV tray, but no TV. No TV. I got you. That
was my dinner table. So, hey, man. But once I got on my own, certain buddies, they were still, you know, out there in the streets in them elements. I'm like, hey, man, don't bring that over here.
Right.
But I go where they at.
Okay.
And I see how they still in that element.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, dude, you know these laws about to come for you, right? You know they on the way.
Right.
Man, don't be bringing that down on me.
Right.
I go home one night, God looking over my shoulder. As soon as I get home, man, they kicked the door in last night. I tried to tell you.
Right.
I tried to tell you, but so I done had it both ways, man. I done had it both ways.
I got you.
You know, guys, I mentioned I'm the baby of my family, and when I was growing up, I didn't have to be accountable as a baby. I do something and my sister get in trouble. My folks go, "Why did you let him do that?"
Oh, not the why you let him do that.
I had to be accountable, man.
I was in the bathroom. I didn't know what he was doing.
Like, if I heard my mother say to my older brother, "Why did you let him do that?" I'd be like, "Oh."
Like, oh my goodness, man. Oh, that's the way that works. So that has its effect on you, right? And growing up, you feel like, okay, you know, you got to be accountable in a lot of cases. But yeah, it took some time to get to that point of being accountable and being 100% accountable.
Right.
It really is a journey. That's for sure. As Brother Corey mentioned, as a kid, you start out, you know, you're not accountable in most cases, but especially when it's being supported by being the youngest.
Right.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey to become accountable in the true sense of the word. It really is.
Wow.
I think people miss that sibling, you know, where you are in the order. Growing up, it has a great impact. You know, I've learned. I'm going to say this, it may be biased. I think the greatest struggle is in the middle when you're a middle child.
Okay.
Right? Because you're not the oldest and you're not the youngest. Right? People say I was the baby. It was always hard for me. No. Just ask your older siblings. They'll tell you. No, you didn't. And then ask, when you're the oldest, there's a lot of responsibility on you. And sometimes that pressure can be a box.
Right.
The pressure being the oldest. You're the one who has to be responsible. You're the one that's in charge. You're the one, that has to be accountable. Something goes wrong, your parents are like, what were you doing?
Right. Again, I was in the bathroom. I didn't know what you were doing.
The babies don't care. The middle children are like, yeah, what were you doing?
Where were you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
All of that, mentally, psychologically plays a role in your reaction versus your response and how you process things. I've always had a sense of responsibility growing up, because my older brother, he wasn't really, he was an older brother, but he wasn't like present. He kind of did his own thing. And so a lot of that lot fell on me. And so I had early responsibility and early accountability. So you grew up with this, I'm always in charge mentality. And as an adult, I felt like I was always in charge. And people say, you're so bossy. Well, I was left in charge at a young age, and you have to release yourself from that box of responsibility. Everything doesn't belong. You don't carry everything. Right. It's not yours to carry, and those are lessons that I've had to learn in life, to not carry everything because you're not responsible for everything. You don't have to control everything.
You're right. So right.
That's the opposite for me, because I didn't have any siblings, so it was always on my shoulders. And
it was it.
Yeah, I was it. Then, my mama, she had substance abuse problems. She was mentally, truly diagnosed mentally ill. So when I did leave my mama's house, I was like, if you fall, ain't nobody there to pick you up. Ain't no crutch. Ain't no stoop. You gonna have to get up on one leg, one knee at a time, and try to maintain. So I made it my business not to ever fall and be on my behind. My wife always, why we gotta do this? Why we gotta do that? Because I don't never want to be broke. That's why I'm always chasing that dollar. I don't never want to be in that position. You and I together. I done been there by myself.
Right.
But me seeing you at the bottom.
Right.
We're both looking at each other like we crazy. Right. I don't think I can handle that. What I mean? Because I ain't never been through that experience before.
Right.
I've been through it solo. But the woman that I love, seeing her suffer, I ain't never been in that part. So don't want to see that part.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Each position has its effect for sure.
Yeah.
It's a matter of awareness as that concern as well, right?
Yeah, 100%. For me, I was kind of by myself. I told you my brother was like 10 years older, so I couldn't blame him for nothing. He was gone. By the time I was in some real shenanigans in the house, he was already out the house. So yeah, I had nobody but the invisible kid. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. You're the only dude here. You're the only one here. So listen, guys, we appreciate you for rocking with us another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Thank you, Coach Aaron, for being on, hanging with us.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure.
Yes, indeed. Oh, connecting. If you want to connect with Mr. Aaron, let's see. Let me see if I got any of your links up here. You might have to give it to me.
While you're putting that up there, I'll tell a quick story.
All right.
I'll never forget the first time someone said, "Ooh, God called you to preach." Right?
Yeah.
And it resonated with me because I like talking about the word.
Right.
But I remember going and visiting a church and actually signing in as an elder Brian McCrory, and the pastor at the end of his sermon, we was greeting the visitors and all that. He said, "Oh, I see we have Elder McCrory visiting with us today." Did I lose?
No, we here. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
You say, "Uh-oh," I'm thinking maybe I froze or something.
No.
So he was calling me up to see if I wanted to have words. You know how they invite you up to the congregation or whatever. Okay. And I got up from my seat and I started walking towards the pulpit. And he said, "Oh, look at him. He walks like a preacher." Right?
Yeah.
But afterwards, This is what hit me. I asked myself, was he talking about my stature, my level of confidence, and that I walk like a preacher? Or had I picked up something along the way and started mimicking? Right?
That's good.
Think about that. Oh, you look like you. When they see that on you, is it you being your authentic self? Or are you already acting what you've seen, acting out what you've seen, mimicking other behavior? What is your authentic self? When people describe you, are they describing your authentic self, or are they describing you acting out a role?
Right. That's good. That's good. All right. So I'm putting up your email, Aaron at Leap Association.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Right. So make sure you guys connect with what I have up here. I apologize. CIATON. All right. So make sure you guys connect with them. You know, if you're trying to get out of your rut, or if you need to try to figure out your movement, or you need some inspiration. Well, not even inspiration. You need coaching, because there's a difference. Not going to inspire you. Going to coach you, you know, in the direction that you're trying to go, and give you the tips, tricks, and the mental acumen to make great things happen. All right, so connect with Aaron, right? Aaron at leapassociation.com. So connect with my man right there. All right, and if you miss anything, just, you know, connect with me. I'll connect you with him. He said, how does Elder walk even? Right. So we appreciate you guys for being here again. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Man, it's Friday already. I don't know about nobody else, but time is like, it's already like 13 days into 2023. You're like, wow. Soon it'll be 2024, guys. So we look forward to
love you guys.
Tomorrow, same time, same channel. Be blessed. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. 988. If you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, dial 988. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Make sure you stay connected with us. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. Never miss a broadcast happening with the brothers. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow. That's it. That's all. We done. I'm going to stop talking. Peace out.